choose because it is okay. But when it comes to my hair, no other race have a problem to tell no other race anything about the hair, how to wear the hair. You get how they want it. Only people have a problem with is African people. And if you think, and you're going to history and see, there's a reason for that. The reason is that when they go all over Asia and they go all over Latin America, the statues that they see the cornrow, and that identify with the African man. So to keep you away from that identity, they put laws in place, you understand, to stop you. I want to touch something else too. I want to say that because I was so really pleased this week. I think it's the second time that I heard, and I don't call his name too, Marlon, had Dr. Sweet talking about reparation this week.
Which
you know,
Marlon?
because you did, huh?
Which Marlon?
On 610, maybe 610, TV 610.
610?
I'm sorry. TV6. I'm going way back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Marlon Hopkinson, right.
Marlon Hopkinson, yes.
You heard him talking about reparations?
Yes, he had Dr. Sweet speaking about reparation because what he is doing, he had a meeting yesterday in Faizabad. He had one summit down in St. James. He's the only person I've heard besides you, on publicly rather on other public media speaking about reparation. And he's speaking about the exact thing that you have been speaking about. Those in Europe who have been apologizing, the churches and those who have been apologizing. No other media ain't picking it up. You know why? It's African people business. You understand? African people, you understand? Being, and before this, I was so vexed within the interview that he had with him. The man is speaking about reparation, but I had to forgive him to it. But he asking the man about the hair. You understand? Reparation is bigger than the hair, but the man just leaving what he didn't go into that. Reparation is bigger than the hair. I mean, the hair is the biggest, but the reparation, what he went through, you understand? I have to commend him for bringing that, you understand, to the people, because there's nothing coming out of the state, out of the government, nothing. And we're going to compete here just now. And this is making, the king of Netherlands apologized sometime last week here for slavery. William Alexander, he apologized, and no media is taking up this. You know why? That is something that African people business. Keep them there. As I always say, slavery and what they have done to us, they never leave us alone, And what they have done it in such a way that we are doing it to ourselves, because when people talk about ignorance, that happened a long time. Forget that. That piece of ignorance, you understand? Leave that alone. We can't go back that far. But everybody else is going back, you understand, making sure that they get justice for evil that was done to them.
But you know something, though, brother? One thing that we've learned with the whole hair situation with the Trinity College boys, I think, and maybe we would not have expected this in 2023, but the same kind of brainwashing that many African people would have experienced in like the 1960s and 1970s, maybe even as far back as the 1980s, we saw in 2023, where there were African people who, in response to that Trinity College boys' hair issue, there were some African people who said, why are you bringing race into this?
Always.
That issue exclusively about African hair. Why are you bringing race into
this? Ignorance.
Unbelievable.
Yes, ignorance, by the way, I remember in the 80s, I changed my name. I gave rid of the slave master name. And when I got rid of the slave master name, the kind of insults that I got for changing my name.
Right, we understand that was the 1980s. That's the 1980s. We're talking about 2023.
Yes, but what's telling you? So I know you're talking about it. So actually, it never changed. These things never stop. These things never stop. They always continue. And then the worst hurt me most is when some of our people fall into that ignorant trap. It's a trap. They don't understand. You two came down here, by Binden, what's his name, and all of them come down to this thing here. Well, at least you dealt with it, you understand? There was a reason why they come in. Because they want to have a backdoor meeting in secret. You understand? Look how long this country say, this government say. This government, when I say this government, talk about Prime Minister before saying they have a MOU with flights from Africa to Trinidad. Up to no, they haven't done it.
But one Caribbean country has started it, right?
That's St. Lucia. I know. One of them has started it.
Antigua
and Barbuda.
But it's already stopped.
It stopped.
Yeah, because again, you have those individuals who will make it their mission.
Yes.
Mission.
Yes. To take
put
you all
an end to
the way around. Yes.
And again, the sad thing about issues like this as well, I mean, this is an old observation about the Caribbean, is that matters like this tend to get entangled in local political issues.
All the time.
So let's say Trinidad and Tobago had initiated this, that we made a decision, we're going to have direct flights between Africa and the Caribbean. For many people, it will become a PNM versus UNC issue.
Politics.
And they give their support based on that. Just like in Antigua, it was a government versus opposition issue.
Ignorance.
I mean, I tell you, this political system that we have is so destructive to the masses. Okay, crime rate taking place, drugs coming in, illegal guns, crime rate astronomically high. Oh, that just reminded me of something. But government is blaming opposition is blaming government. And they, in preparing solutions to the problems, they're preparing attacks on each other. And all over the Caribbean, you have that template. In Guyana, same thing. The whole way they dealt, whether it's COVID-19, whether it's crime, whether it's education, it doesn't become something that we have to solve for the public. It becomes something that we have to attack the other political party about.
To get involved. But anyway, here what happened. 356 mass killing in America. So far, 356 mass killing.
Yeah, well, remember, it's an average of, I think it's an average of 3 a day.
Yes.
That they have out there.
Yes. But before I go, I want to say something. The Prime Minister of St. Kitts, not St. Kitts, St. Kitts, yes. I saw that man wept in Parliament the other day. When he had they removed the laws that are the bar Rastafarians, the rights. When the man, they removed the law, and I saw him right there, he wept, you understand, for what the Rastafarians went through.
Wow.
You understand? Evil and wickedness, Brother David. Brother David, ciao.
Yes,
have a nice day, my brother.
Yes, same to you, same to you. Thank you so much. Caller, good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, Michael.
Yes, sir, good morning.
Thanks for taking my call. Do you believe in FBI and CIA and that kind of thing? Covert operations.
What do you mean if I believe they exist?
Yes.
Well, of course they do exist.
So do you believe in a man that they call Oliver North?
I don't believe in him, but I'm aware of him, yeah.
You're aware of what he did, right?
Yep, Nicaragua, the Sandinistas.
All right. You don't think that there are the same thing going on throughout the Caribbean? Presently up to now?
Well, sir, there is a very long list of United States political interference in the Caribbean, including plots against Dr. Eric Williams, plots to remove him from office, plots to remove Forbes Burnham of Guyana, to assassinate Walter Rodney of Guyana, to instigate the food riots in Jamaica under Michael Manley.
And these are the 4 people who created the same thing that you were just talking about. And understand this, that started, as you outlined to us, and as I know, even before these 4 nations became independent.
But they were the only 4 independent nations at the time.
Yes. Right? And we had to understand, you're talking about the CCJ.
Yep.
And the reason for we are not taking part in the CCJ is because of our political opponent.
Our own local political situation. Not because of what is better for the public.
No, not just the public. The region, if you want to look at it, because I had was to outline to one of these same persons of the same race. I said, but what are you talking about? But Guyana, which has an East Indian government, is a part of the CCJ and just got a ruling from the CCJ right here. But we took a man all the way to England just recently, and they are boasting. I have people on a platform that look like me telling me the only justice that we could get is from there.
Well, listen, let me say this to you. I don't know. I'm sensing you're a bit older than me, maybe, but even I remember as a child in Trinidad.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM. Catch all your favorite shows live on Instagram.
We're live on Instagram.
The Street 919 FM. What are you waiting for? Go check us out on Instagram today.
Yeah, this is a blessing again coming out from Yard Kitchen. Yeah, so we thank God we live to see another day. Yes, so today Yard Kitchen is shouting out. Yeah, we say we have the oxtail pizza, we have the jerk wood pizza, we have the brown stew chicken, the brown stew pork, we have the jerk chicken, we have the festival. We have everything at Yard Kitchen come out on a Saturday. Also, yeah, we have the soup time. Yeah, we have it, red pea soup, we have the lamb beef soup. Yes, we have all soup. You come at Yard Kitchen, if you come, you get it. Come down with me, we have it.
Yard Kitchen TT, located at number 12 Victoria Avenue, opposite Tranquility School, Port of Spain. They're open from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day for dine-in or takeaway. Call or WhatsApp us at 336-3442 and follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. For more info at Yard Kitchen TT.
Yard Kitchen TT for that authentic Feds Jamaican flavor.
This July, August vacation, Scotiabank Magna MasterCard is here with a Java extravaganza. It's time to swipe and win more rewards. When you spend $500 or more with your Scotiabank Magna MasterCard, you are instantly entered for a chance to win 2,500 Magna points. Every winner will be eligible to win the grand prize of 100,000 Magna points. This July, August vacation, take advantage of the Java extravaganza promotion. Swipe your Scotiabank Magna MasterCard today to win. Visit magnarewards.com for more details. Approved by the NLCB.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday from 12 midnight to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM radio. Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
Looking for a safe and relaxed professional massage therapist and nutritionist? Look no further. Nature's Touch with Empress Judy and Associates offers a natural approach to better health. Treat yourself to a professional massage therapy and nutrition advice in a safe and relaxed atmosphere. Rejuvenate your body, mind, and soul at Nature's Touch Therapy. For an appointment, please call or WhatsApp 1-868-398-8282 or visit our Facebook page. Remember, your health is our responsibility at Nature's Touch.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. So there's a need for brotherhood. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Brotherhood is demanded. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential, it is urgent, and it is compulsory. But the time demands brotherhood. Whenever the dominant white society fears for its economic future, racial tensions are always aggravated. The aim of Almighty God is to bring the black man and woman together. The aim of Almighty God is that we, no matter how divided we have been in the past, must experience unity in order to gain the success that we seek and the progress that we desire. There is no way that a divided people can build a future. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. So there's a need for brotherhood. But if you walk the earth proud and arrogant, you never learn your lesson because you think you already know. And how the hell could you know and be in the shape that we're in? How can there be any brotherhood if there's not even the honoring of a word? Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. Black man get up, black man stand up, black man you better listen. But the Quran and the Bible bear witness that the heavens and the earth were created with truth. Black man stand up, black man you better listen. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded. Brotherhood is obligatory. Brotherhood is essential, it is urgent, and it is compulsory. I feel that every man that wants to speak should have the right. And if you think you know it better, get on up. Come on. And get on and do the job. But if you don't know what to do, come on, and all your mouth is able to do is condemn and criticize, but you have no works to show the rightness of your philosophical adherence, then maybe you should rethink your position. Brotherhood is required. Brotherhood is demanded.
Welcome back, and welcome to the second hour of the Black Agenda here on the Street 919 FM. We're continuing to take your calls on 342-0081 and 466-5391. Now, let me say, tomorrow morning, for our weekly lecture at the Kwame Ture Center, 11 o'clock, we have a really impacting topic. Tomorrow, inshallah, we will be dealing with the subject 666, the mark of the beast. This topic is a whole lot deeper than you might think. So, especially inviting you out to hear my lecture tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock at the Kwame Ture Center. 666, the mark of the beast. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning.
Hey, morning, brother. On the subject that they were speaking about before the break, the thing about it in terms of our accession to the CCG and other matters concomitant around CARICOM is this, right? You are correct. You are so correct. And other callers have been chimed in and are correct as well. That is the political system, right? But think about it. The big four who received independence the first in the 60s. So you have two at 60 and the other two at 58, because I believe Barbados and Guyana both secured independence in 1966, right?
That's correct.
Right. But here it is. What is the overarching similarity in all of them and difference? Is constitution. I believe of the big four, of the first four, as I would call them, only Jamaica has referenda as a mechanism to deal with key issues in the country, where they would directly involve the politics, the public, and remove it out of the hands of the politicians who sit in parliament. Right? We didn't do that, and because of the way the society is aligned racially, now we're seeing that is a problem. Now in Jamaica is a more homogeneous society in terms of the makeup of the population, right?
Yeah,
is overwhelmingly black.
Yeah,
and the only country similar to that is Haiti in the CARICOM.
No,
right?
well, no, that's not so. Most of the Caribbean islands are like that, with the exception of Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana,
correct,
and Suriname.
Right, correct. Yeah. I just veer, of course, for a little bit there, right?
Yeah, that's all right.
So what I'm saying is, for me, we not having the issue of referenda, the provision of referenda in our constitution is a problem. And when I think about it philosophically and even politically, we boast about the promulgation of a Caribbean civilization. But the Caribbean civilization should not be based on the structures of the colonials.
Exactly.
And that is the problem,
That's our point.
That is the problem.
And there have been other countries in the Caribbean that have had referendums over the years. Like Bermuda had one for independence.
Yeah.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines had one to become a republic. So did Grenada.
Right. Yeah.
I can't recall of Trinidad and Tobago having any.
No, we never had it. Dr. Eric Williams was vehemently against that, because I think that is something that in our negotiations in Marlborough House, it was advanced by the DLP, and Dr. Williams was against that. The British tried to get it as one of the provisions, but ultimately it was shut down. Now, interestingly enough, in the Hugh Wooding Constitution Commission, thinking things through, that was a provision. The provision was also for us to go back to the pre-independence model of the House, which was a unicameral chamber, which would have made it a one-chamber body enlarged with all the people who are in the Senate now being in the House of Representatives. And again, I think that was the best constitutional document we've had since independence, but it was rejected by Dr. Williams because a one-chamber body would have reduced the power of one political party to dominate proceedings, and he didn't want that. And it would have eroded the power of the Prime Minister, because it also wanted us to have an executive president along the lines of Guyana. And he didn't know, he was against that. So he scrapped that, and our constitution was rewritten again by Sir Ellis Clark. So a fact that many people are not aware of, that our two constitutions were authored by Sir Ellis Clark, 1962 and 1976. And they were both authored to suit what Dr. Eric Williams wanted.
Yeah.
And this is the problem we have. And I'm saying that, you know, I always admire what Dr. Lloyd Best promulgated, which was the Macro Parliament, which was an enlargement of the Hewlin suggestion of the single chamber, where all the voices would have a say in the thing. Now, people say it's a recipe for confusion, but I say not. What it will do, it would have broken this thing about the red and yellow, you know what I mean, dominant party, because other voices would have been...
And he came up with the idea of a party of parties being a government.
Thank you, and you would have had to have consensus. You would have had to have consensus.
Right, but the thing is, they took advantage of the man's wisdom and used it simply to win an election.
And that is where he became so disillusioned after
he left them. He left them. Yeah. He left them with his idea because NAR was Lloyd Best's idea. It was the NATT, the National Alliance of Trinidad and Tobago, which was launched in 1982.
Yep.
And then after the 1983 local government elections, where they sat down, did some maths, and they realized that ONR, along with ULF Tapia House and DAC in Tobago, together they got more local government seats than the PNM did. So the idea was to combine their strengths, and so that way you get the voice of the majority represented in the parliament. But when they did that, and Sidney Knox sponsored a private plane, and they started doing trips. Like I said, not me. It was Basil Pandey, Carl Hudson Phillips, and who's the other one? And A.N.R. Robinson. Look at that.
A.N.R. Robinson. And what's your names you called there, right? Now, we over the years will have perceived them as black leaders, and so I'm saying. But really and truly, what they were perfect Afro-Saxons.
But that's what Lloyd Best himself said too.
Yeah,
you're going heavy into some Lloyd Best philosophy there.
Yeah, because like I say, I would have engaged him several times in conversation when you used to be outside Mayor Marshall selling his books and so on. And you know, he around me, he says, people like you, young brother, we need to come and take the baton forward to change things and educate people.
You know how long I haven't heard that name, Mayor Marshall?
Yeah, right. He used to be out there selling his books and the newspaper that he had. Remember that newspaper, right?
You're bringing back memories. You're bringing back memories of Campus Corner.
Of course. And I would have engaged him and spoken to him and thing. And you know, and one of the things that he would always discuss, he said the failure of the UWE is that the UWE did not continue to be a crucible of debate and articulation of ideas to forge our civilization. He said that is what lecturers and the student body in UWE was towards. We were to use the institution of tertiary education to form or to forge our Caribbean identity. And he said he found that when he realized that he was alone in that, he was disillusioned again and decided to remove himself from academia. Because if academia was just about regurgitating what is in the books and what we have tried to liberate ourselves from, then we have failed as a Caribbean society. So as long as we continue to do that, that is what is happening. Imagine we have a UWE that is not a crucible of research anymore. Well, all right, not saying that people don't put out papers and academic treaties, you know, but in terms of shifting what we have in the Caribbean and forging our own identity and what we want to achieve, and is not doing that. All we're doing is simply trying to rival, to say in the Caribbean that we can do what the Oxbridges, the Harvard and Yales have been doing. And education shouldn't be about that. If it's not about revolutionary change in your space, then it's a failure. We ought not just to be putting out PhDs, masters, and first degrees if it's not to make meaningful change. And until we come to that place, brother, I don't think anything that we want to achieve in terms of the black agenda and the political and intellectual agenda in the Caribbean will be achieved. Sorry.
I want to thank you so much for calling in and sharing your knowledge and wisdom.
Thank you, brother. Take care, and always, like I say, always following in your flambeau. Take care, brother.
Thank you so much, my brother. Appreciate it. Caller, good morning.
Good morning on to you, David Mohammed.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah. Revolution change in your mind. See, we can change in it in society and not knowing that who is the creator. And then we ain't going nowhere of African people. Because first thing first, is who created us and who gave us the knowledge we have. You understand? Then we will know an African people, you understand, we are and we come from and who we belongs to, where we going and the bridges we crossing, right? Because let me show you something. Back in the 1970s, African people used to wear cane rows, afros, and then in the 90s, they bring out the TCB and the straightener, relaxer, and African people, which women and them, start changing their hair from the afros, from the cane rows, the plaits, and all that. Now, earlier on, he was speaking about African people knowing who they are. And if African people don't know, they come from the Heavenly Father, yeah, you understand? And they're worshiping a white God as their savior, but then we always continue to be in slavery. We mind is enslaved, we don't know who we are. And we don't know where we are going. We sit down and wait for our Prime Minister to make decisions for us. And when you look back 5 years past, 20 years past, 40 years past, they're only enriching in who? And it's not African people. So here what's going on. African people must know that the kind of name of the Creator, when the Heavenly Father created African people, He named them after His own name. African people don't know how important they really are. They are the first people on earth. The rest of races come from the devil and fallen angels. The white man come from fallen angels. Didn't Jesus mention the color of his skin in the Bible and who his father is, one and the same? What are we arguing about? About where we want to go and the dollar and this and let me show you something. Well, what will have to happen, you know? Because this morning I listened to some guys quarreling about and they're having this discussion about, you know, the fall of the US currency and all that. All these things must come to pass. All these things have to come to pass because watch me. A man saying that we have to know about after slavery where we come from and we had. I said bring back all the wealth. You understand? Not just the one paid for slavery. Bring back all the diamonds, all the gold, all the rubies, the trees and the forest that cut down. You understand? We want back money for that too. You understand? We want back all the wealth, all the art and cult and what you call these are different statues and things and painting of our great leaders dating back for thousands of years. And I have it all in England and America. We want it back. You know? So, you see, as African people in the Caribbean here, We must know who we are. All over the world, African people in America, England, wherever. You understand? We have to know who we are. Otherwise, we ain't going nowhere. We must know who is the creator and where we come from. And stop following all these other African people in these different churches, right? You understand? You know, I went to about, let me say, about 6 to 7 different churches. And all of them don't like each other. They bat up the 7 days, the 7 days bat up the Anglican, and so they keep going in circles. And most of the people in the church saying down there is African people. So we already lost our way a long time. Slavery abolished, they're saying, but it's still in our mind.
That's right.
A black man don't want to hear who is a leader of the church and the members of the church don't want to hear that Jesus is black, you know. I engaged some Jehovah people the other day, and they're saying that Jesus have no color, you know, no race.
Yeah. I've heard that. I haven't heard that in some years, though. I haven't heard anyone say that in some years, but I know that there are people who would rather say Jesus had no color at all, none, than to say he was black.
Right. Yeah, and I said, look, you have it in your Bible here, where he explaining that he is black.
So it's like when they find out that he was black, they say, he had no color.
Yeah.
When they thought he was white, he had a color.
Yeah.
But now that they find out he's black, they say, he had no color. No color.
He didn't belong to no race.
It didn't belong to any race. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I haven't heard that one in some years.
Yeah.
But my brother, thank you for your call. All right, blessings to you. Caller, good morning.
Very good morning. Very good morning, my brother.
Greetings, beloved sister. How are you doing?
I am good. Give thanks.
Yes.
I am good. Oh gosh, these lectures that you're having, they're quite interesting. Yeah, but I have a bit of a commitment these days, so. But anyways, that young man, that young brother there, he
brilliant.
Brilliant contribution, man. Things like that make us want to understand we are on a good road.
Yep.
We are waking up. But the Antigua Barbuda, where there was the aircraft with the direct flights, that has stopped?
Yes, it didn't last very long at all. In fact, I think it was barely 3 months. That was last year, October, November, December, around there. But they started to politicize it. And someone, well, I mean, to be honest, I don't have all of the facts, but they tried to spread this propaganda that there were, and again, you hear the same kind of thing in Trinidad sometimes too. They try to say that there are a whole lot of Africans from Africa on the streets in Antigua, and they started to circulate rumors that like convicts and criminals escaping from Nigeria and coming to hide out in, really small-minded stuff. No proof, no evidence of nothing. Someone decides we have to stop these direct flights.
Yes.
Someone comes up with something and it starts to spread. It becomes a headache for the government. Then they make a decision to reverse it. So, and the thing is, we always thought that Barbados would have been first.
Yes.
But I mean, and that's
no. I never thought Barbados would have been first. Come to think of it,
really. Well, remember, they were the most passionate about the Africa CARICOM summit. Mia Motley and David Kamiziong and so on. Remember, they're leading the charge with reparations.
Okay,
yeah.
And that's another thing too. When CARICOM with that summit that they had there. That should be one of the main topics, reparation.
Well, of course, because that was a major part of the discussion of the Africa CARICOM Summit of September the 7th. So again, I mean, the singing, the dancing, the drumming, the fashion shows, those things are good. Those things are good. But you have to deal with things like regional unity, one currency, one passport, one police force, reparations. You have I mean, it's 9 years ago now, 9 years ago that CARICOM agreed to a 10-point reparations plan.
Wow. But what can I say? Well, coming to the situation with the hair, I would still want to add that, you see, the pride that the African youth and men have when they have all their cornrows and do their hairstyles, the way they walk, the way they assert themselves, that is just as damaging to the others besides the hairstyle itself, because you have been told for hundreds of years your hair not hard and your hair ain't good and all of this kind of a thing. So why are you still wearing this hair and walking with so much pride? So that is another thing that bothers the people with the hair, But nonetheless, here we are, and we have to keep the struggle afoot. They break down one door, we continue on. I mean, if you were still processing this horrible situation that men used to go through with the slick hair, if you were still doing that, everything would have been fine. Nobody would have tell you how to do your hair. You understand? But you are using your natural hair and asserting your style and your art in your hair, and that's a problem for people. So let's keep on. Thank you so much.
Thank you, beloved.
Okay.
And Malcolm X spent, I thought at the time, I remember, Malcolm X spent quite a significant amount of time in his autobiography speaking about that hair issue and how they used to mix this formula, back in the days to do their hair. Even in the movie, in the Malcolm X movie, they spent quite a bit of time. I thought it was too much time that they spent on the hair issue back then. This formula and how to mix it and put it in their hair and it would burn up. And all the black men wanted to have this hair like white people. Caller, good morning.
Morning, Brother Mohammed.
Good morning, sir. Right. Welcome back.
You ever look at the roots? Well, yes, I guess you would.
Well, yes.
Yes. When you have an enslaved person in chain, they always have a haircut. You ever observe that? Look at a picture, an old photo that you would find with slaves, and look at the hair. Totally different to what you would see in a movie.
Yeah.
Totally different. So think about you being a slave. In the actual photo which you read, because nobody in cutting your hair as no slave. So that's growing. And you have to be able to take care of that. The person who invented the iron comb to straighten that is a black person,
Yeah, Madam C.J. Walker.
All right, so let me forget this conversation. We've been doing that. Nobody didn't. It's because of she became a millionaire for that, And a man come up with an invention to straighten it, to make it easier. That's all. But we've been doing that because of where we come from and what we've been through. We have to be able to take care of what we have. And just if yours could get straight, I could show you mine to get straight, and I could look more handsome and more pretty than you two. That was all.
Right.
You understand? I adapted to suit the situation that I had. I created a comb to look. If you want to talk about image, I could create the same image you're talking about with the same nappy hair that I have. I improved my style. Not so? If you want to look at it from that aspect, I have just improved the same nappy hair that you were just referring to by creating a straightening comb, creating a afro comb. But let me move on from that. Back to this conversation.
Right.
I give some group of people. You see that gentleman that just spoke before, the two gentlemen, intelligent conversation.
Yeah.
But you see the problem in our society. My government was going on. Dr. Eric Williams was going on a road of Kwan Yu, more or less. Unfortunately, some of the men that he had behind him was corrupted. We can't get away from that. But the direction that we wanted to go, we couldn't go based on the opposition that we had. You ever hear the opposition? Anything to do with the CARICOM, you ever hear the opposition ever talk about CARICOM.
Ever since the Federation of the West Indies, there was resistance by the then DLP under Dr. Reginald Capildeo. Right. So and also and even in Trinidad, not only in Guyana, but even in Trinidad.
They have this connection that we are trying to create. They have that. Right now, the Guyanese government is more or less, depending on how you look at it, has some part of it has some influence to the opposition that we have here. So the only how we could, I would always say that we have a dictatorialship leadership, because you have to have something to control the group of people. You see this thing that what everybody must be able to, what the gentleman just described, referendum.
Yeah.
Every Monday morning we will have that in Trinidad and Tobago. You see, every Monday morning when you decide to make an improvement in our society, and it seems as though it's going to benefit a particular group of people, there's a group of people with call for a referendum. And I imagine I sit down on my Facebook. I had a gentleman, there's a big Facebook thing in Trinidad and Tobago, went away to, if it's England or Canada, there's recently, and begging people to send money for him to come back. Yeah, well, I man sit down and telling, I had a group of people who was thieving. And you could see whether it was thieving, there was billing this and there was billing that, and I was getting something. But under this administration, I ain't seen where the money going, what thieving. Did the university make? That means that somewhere along the line, the intellectuals drop the ball on the teachings of our society, on how economics does work, how government system does work. Because some of us are living a pipe dream in the reality of where Trinidad and this conference where there was the 43rd summit of probably CARICOM countries, heads of CARICOM countries coming together. But it's also in line with the 50th anniversary of what the first 4 nations started. You understand? So it wasn't actually the celebration of the 50th anniversary yet, but it was also about the 40th meeting of the head of CARICOM. And one of the persons who's leading this charge for reparation is the St. Vincentian.
Yeah.
He's probably, to me, one of the most lauded voices.
Yeah.
Right? I see in a state in America, they are paying reparation, and they're paying this reparation if you want to purchase a property or you have a mortgage. I think it's $50,000 or $25,000 they are giving to the citizens, especially in a black community, in order to do so. So there are some places that has started in America. I have a man, Trump, telling you what Trump tells American citizens just recently. Governments around the world, especially third world countries, are sending bandits and criminals across to my border, so I'm going to close off my borders. I said Mexico. That falls in my remit. I have a group of people support that fella in Trinidad and Tobago right here. You have to wake up. Enjoy it, my brother.
Thank you for your call today, sir. I appreciate it.
Hi.
Caller, good morning.
Hi, pleasant morning, Brother David.
Yes, sir.
Very, very interesting topic.
Yes.
You know, I it's only when you sit and you have dialogue and you review, you start to get revelation. I'm looking back at the CARICOM summit, and the president of Rwanda was here, right? Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, the president of Rwanda was here. And I listened to Tony Lee talk about his intelligence, his acumen, and how, impactful he is. And his presence was not as highlighted. He didn't even get an interview as far as I can remember. But the U.S. came to give us empty promises.
Let me ask you a question. I mean, why do you think the president of Rwanda was in that mix?
I'm not sure.
Are you aware of what's going on with Rwanda and a certain arrangement that they have with the United Kingdom right now?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So the government of Rwanda, and this is new, it's not more than 2 years old as yet. I think it was one of Boris Johnson's last things that he did in office. The government of England has made an arrangement with the government of Rwanda to have illegal immigrants deported there. We're not talking about Rwandans. We're talking about anyone who comes into England as an illegal immigrant and they're detained. There's an arrangement with the government, you can look it up, with the government of Rwanda for them to be sent to Rwanda. So Rwanda is kind of like, well, not exactly like, but similar to the kind of idea of Guantanamo Bay. So with the president of Rwanda being just within proximity of CARICOM, again, I have no choice but to contemplate on that and whether or not, because, do you remember when Prime Minister David Cameron of England went to Jamaica and what he said about reparations?
No.
Okay, so David Cameron, Prime Minister of England, well, he was kind of, dismissive of reparations, but he had this plan to build a prison in Jamaica. Now think of it. Prime Minister of England goes to Jamaica and talks about England building a prison in Jamaica and how lucrative it will be for the Jamaican people and how they'll pay for it and all of that stuff. And here you have Rwanda, who it seems in a way have a de facto prison in their country that England are using. So he's over here for the CARICOM meeting, and then the American Secretary of State, Blinken, here as well. The brother from Rwanda, he's welcome in my book, but there's always some sinister plot on the outside.
Yeah.
You know, and that Rwanda thing, that went under a lot of people's noses, you know.
Yeah.
But
because I try to keep myself abreast of what's going on with even with BRICS and all these other different things. And as you rightfully say, there are so many other sinister plots taking place underneath the radar that we are not aware of. You know, and someone did an analysis. Someone did an analysis of the cost of that Rwanda with the flights, right? And it came up to some ridiculous cost. Because the first plane that went, it was supposed to have like 200 people. Again, I mean, I don't have the accurate statistics, but it had something like 10 or 15 people. And it's millions of dollars that they invested to get people out. Now, let me ask a question. To what benefit of Rwanda is this arrangement?
That is the question. Because we might not know. We might never know. You know? We might never get insight into what the real deal is.
I was thinking, you know, that with this CARICOM summit, we should have endeavored to have a lot more African nations there.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, we're supposed to have our own African CARICOM summit.
Yes. I believe so.
So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens on September the 7th.
Yeah. Because that's when the BRICS summit's supposed to be.
That would be the second anniversary of the... No, not BRICS. That would be the second anniversary of the Africa CARICOM Summit, which was September the 7th, 2021. See?
Right.
So we'll see how that is treated when the time comes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for calling.
I'm very much interested in what's taking place with the BRICS as well.
Oh, yes.
That has some African implications.
Right. So we that was part of our topic for our lecture last week at the Kwame Ture Center on the New World Order, the BRICS currency and the devaluation of the United States dollar and the fact that countries with more than half the world's population have already come together and decided that they're going to stop trading in US dollars. That decision has already been taken with about 60% of the world's population. But remember, for us, is whatever America, Canada, and England says that we get on the news. So even though that's less than 10% or about 7% of the world's population, it's bigger news for us than what's happening with the other 90% of the world's population.
Yeah.
That is true colonization, beloved. But thank you for calling in. Thank you for calling in. Yes. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, brother. Dr. Mohammed, correction.
Good morning. The first title was a bigger one, but go ahead. Yes, sir.
I had the privilege to be at your compound Sunday going to listen to edifying facts. But first of all, let me. It will be remiss of me not to thank your members, headed by Brother Mohammed, the person who spoke before you, to assist me with. I had some vehicular problem, and they came out and they assisted me.
Right.
So,
well, I'm very glad to hear that. I heard about it. Yes, I'm very happy.
Yes.
That's why we're here, brother.
I am very, very thankful for that.
Yes, sir.
Now, in the discourse, in your monologue, you mentioned about Italy and Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Now, I have been to Italy, fortunately or unfortunately, and it's not like England or Spain or France, because I've been to a couple of the European countries. It's blatant racism.
Yes, fascism.
Blatant.
Their political system is racism.
Yes, it's terrible. But it's a beautiful country. Italy is a beautiful country.
Yeah, very historic,
Very historic. But the people, especially the male, is a problem. Let me go on to my other topic.
Yeah.
You mentioned about Northern Africa, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt, Algeria.
Yep.
Now, I observe Mbappe.
He's in Cameroon now, isn't he?
No, I'm not sure, but he was one of the forerunners of late with the French protest with this Moroccan guy that got killed.
The Algerian guy, yeah.
Algerian, correction. But I must say, although Morocco, Tunisia, and Algeria and Egypt are in Africa geographically, their texture, their physical features are like Venezuela's, are like Faris Al-Wari.
The Arabs, yeah.
Yes, and they don't care who's about black Africans. So, it's a sad state of affairs because they consider themselves in a different line because of their physical features and so on. So it's a lot of undermining in Africa that is going on. So as I'm concluding, thanks again for the assistance that I got, and I'll try again one of these days to visit your meetings.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Tomorrow would be an excellent day for that, but we appreciate your presence.
I cannot make it
so much. Okay. Yes, sir. Well, thank you for being there. We appreciated your presence. Thank you, sir. Caller, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, good morning.
I want people to remember the history in this country. Certain people who want to be in power right now. Who remember when Gary Griffith was Minister of National Security under Kamala Kosa-Bissetta? They had an exercise, they wanted to carry back African people back to Africa. Who was in Trinidad already and saying that some of them here come Trinidad illegal. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I want people to remember the same people who we run into Horror and Kiss didn't like us 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, and last year. Politics does carry strange bedfellows. I want people to remember when these same people who begging for a vote said under Bazio Pandey to stop the crime in Laverty, we have to sterilize, I think he said to sterilize people. That was a big topic. Sterilize African boys.
Harry Mungle Singh.
Thank you very much. I want people to remember.
Do you remember who removed him from the Senate?
Yes.
Who?
I can't remember the name right now.
Jack Warner.
Thank you, Jack Warner. Yes, Jack Warner was Jack Warner. You understand what I'm saying? I want people to remember the same Jack Warner. He had a robbery in Port of Spain and a Syrian shot from the bandits.
It was actually a Moroccan, but go ahead. Yeah. He went
Yes,
and congratulated him. Yeah.
Yes, he congratulated him and said you should have more people like that.
Yeah. That was a sad moment for me.
Yes. People put the maths together and you're wrong. The pundit talk about Indians are being targeted. These people and them sit behind closed doors and discuss the plan. If they want to do something, now they're brave enough to talk. You know why? We're giving these people energy. Stand your grounds is a dangerous thing for black people. And if we don't stand up and start to speak out, we will be in a lot of problems. Mr. Mohammed, my biggest fear is black people are selling their birthright to people who don't care about us. Because we want a little food on the table.
Yep.
We don't work hard for it. So when they come to us in their suit and tie and say, vote for me, and I will set you free, we just come and study what they did to us 20 years ago. We say we will give all our votes. Because you know why? We ain't getting no house. We ain't getting nothing from them. I want black people to open their eyes. Be careful who oil stain on your fingers for. Because what oil do tomorrow, you regret in the future. Be careful what you wish for.
All right, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, Brother David Mohammed.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm all right. Seeing that the CARICOM members, heads of government still in the country, they'll be discussing energy security in the Caribbean. And they cannot discuss energy security without discussing the Point of Pearl refinery, because the Point of Pearl refinery used to support these Caribbean countries, and they had to look elsewhere in order to get the petrochemicals and elsewhere at a highly cost. So I'm suggesting to the CARICOM heads that there exists a national company in Trinidad and Tobago named Patriotic, and they have a bid, and they have people who will support them in terms of getting the refinery. And they say that once they become stabilized, they will open it up to the people in Trinidad and Tobago to buy shares, and they will also be contributing towards the CARICOM initiative. The countries, they can build back those relationships and handle distribution of the oil or petrochemicals and so on. And I suggest to the Foreign Minister, the Honorable Amy Brown, who's a Minister of Foreign Affairs and CARICOM Affairs, he have to raise that. That is in his portfolio. So he cannot be saying, he can't say that they had to talk, you may have to look at the Energy Minister or the Minister of Finance or the Prime Minister. It is in his portfolio to raise that. And how he had to study how history would remember him, in terms of this, what we're talking about here, how history would remember Dr. Amy Brown in terms of the Point of Pearl refinery situation. You understand? So I'm suggesting that the heads of government, they could give recommendations in terms of what could happen, and could request to the Prime Minister of this country, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, to open discussions with Patriotic, right? And let us see what could happen in terms of that. This 5 years refinery closed down on the border with Brother Mohammed. And that the 5 years closed down, and I mean, there'll be a travesty for this thing to rot, man. A travesty, Dr. Igbenez, if Dr. Igbenez was alive. This wouldn't happen. Apart from that, they mentioned about a ferry for the Caribbean. Now, you don't hear anything about it. A ferry.
But listen, about that ferry, I got an update from someone in St. Vincent about that. I'm looking for it right now as we speak. Apparently, I don't know why we haven't been hearing much about it, but apparently I don't know if it's up and running, but yeah, the Windward Ferries Limited. If you look up Windward Ferries Limited, there's a whole. Again, I'm not sure if it started already, but apparently it's up and running. They have the ships, they have the destinations. I think it's Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Grenada, St. Vincent, and St. Lucia. It's I think it's like a 12-hour journey to the furthest destination. I'm not sure if they can take vehicles as yet. And I was looking at the prices as well. The prices are obviously cheaper than a plane, but not anywhere near to what the prices should be, from what I recall. I think it was like 1,200 US. No, can't be 1,200 US. Sorry. So basically a flight to Tobago is $400, right?
Right.
And the boat, what's the cost of the boat ride to go to Tobago?
I'm not sure.
Without a car, I think it's about 100 or less than 100, because going with a car. But anyway, it's about a quarter. Someone please correct us on that. But I think it's going on the ship to Tobago is approximately 1/4 of the cost to go by the plane, which to me is fair. But with the Windward Ferries, from what I recall seeing, it looked like about 60% of the cost of the plane ticket, which is terrible. I mean, if you're taking 12 hours to get to St. Lucia, you wouldn't want to pay a little more than half the cost. You'll want to pay about a third or a quarter. So, but we'll see. I guess how well it's supported over the next few years will also determine the pricing.
Having an operational point of refinery, our contribution to what's subsidizing that could be in diesel oil. You know, that could be our product contribution, and I believe subsidize that cost too.
Right.
So you see how important the operation refinery is important to us, Brother Mohammed. If you take care, have a good day, right?
Yeah, all right, my brother. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Windward Ferries Limited. Apparently they have these journeys. Again, I'm not sure exactly if they started. I'll try to find out some more about that. Caller, good morning.
Morning again. I'm listening to this summit. I want to believe the Canadian government, along I want to believe with the U.S. government, donated 2 ferries to the CARICOM.
Who did?
I think the Canadian government, I'm for sure, along with the U.S. government, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not too sure about the U.S., but I'm sure about the Canadian government. Donated 2 ferries to the CARICOM in order to create that ferry service, ferry service that we are referring to. And the CARICOM government came together in order to do that. So I want to believe that way that company they're talking about is the company.
Windward, right. But I'm not sure if it's a full CARICOM initiative, though, because, it's basically the OECS. It would be good if it could be Caribbean-wide. That would be really good.
No, I talking about the ferry going Caribbean-wide,
What are you referring to then?
I'm referring to, I think it's the Caribbean countries coming together to create that ferry system that we were referring to.
Okay, but what we're saying is apparently the company has already been created. It's called Windward Ferries Limited.
Yes. Well, yes, because I think, as I said, the conversation from listening to the 3 persons, which is this lady that was on TV6 that went to CNN or CCN and got removed, and the gentleman, look at that, Remember we had a man that was on TV6 on our morning? He was a Jamaican, or where he was from? Or a Bajan?
Julian Rogers.
Julia Rogers and this Jamaican girl, and we had the doctor from the university. They were carrying on this Julian Rogers wasn't fired under the People's Partnership?
Julian Rogers, he, I think, was removed around the time of the fence issue with the Jamaat al-Muslimin. Do you remember that? Which would have been, it would have been the UNC's first, the UNC's first under Basil Pandey.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and I remember he had a little march around Port of Spain, you know, and a lot of people walked with him because it was seen as a grievous oppression.
Against what people? Against a particular group of people? Eh?
Well, he was seen as a very distinguished voice for a lot of the mainstream concerns of the masses. He wasn't hiding his criticisms of the government. And I remember it became Ministry of National Security got involved and all of that. Same thing with myself and what I went through with Power 102, which would have been, well, a good while after that.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.